Good morning, guys. Okay, sorry about the light here. We have just a little bit of time before we take the kids into school because you guys, it's Tuesday and apparently Yusuf doesn't have work today. But he got up and got dressed and now he's sitting here dropping the kids off at preschool with me. So we were sitting here this morning. I'm sorry about this light. We were sitting here this morning sort of just, talking and chatting business, and, we're back from Cancun, and we have big plans for you guys, and we just started talking about this one particular thing, and of course Yusuf wanted to come on here and give you a motivational Monday on a Tuesday. So let me go ahead and invite a couple of the girls just so we can see if we can get somebody on here really quick, and then I'm going to pass this off to him because he has just 5-10 minutes of a message that he really wants to share with you guys. And I just, he shares these things with me, and I think it's really nice that he can share those with you as well. So if you're on, say hi, invite some of the other girls if you're watching. If you're watching right now, share this into the group chat so that somebody else can see it. All right, you guys, I'm going to pass you off to Yusuf right here.
What's going on, guys? How you doing? You already know who it is, Vigo. Yusuf, aka Happy Tuesday. But I wanted to come on here and share a few things with you. Today I want to talk about familiarity. Familiarity and having a teachable spirit. Familiarity is basically, what I'm trying to say about familiarity is that you can be with somebody and really not know who you're dealing with. You can be sitting next to the president and you will not take the president seriously until the president becomes president and forgets about you. But then you complain, why is that the president is not paying attention? We grew up together, but guess what? You didn't take the president seriously when you were younger, right? So there is a verse in the Bible that I would like to share. If you're not a Christian, I apologize in advance, but I would like to share this verse with you. It's out of the book of Mark, Mark 6:4, and it says this. Then Jesus told him, a prophet is honored everywhere except in his own hometown and among his relative and his own family. He dealt with this. So he was born and raised in a place where, he was a carpenter. And when his ministry actually started kicking in, people didn't take him seriously as the prophet, as the Messiah, because they saw him growing up as a carpenter. So all that did is bring him back to that instead of actually accepting the fact that he was who he was, right? So sometimes you can be dealing with somebody, hearing from somebody all the time, seeing that person. You might not take seriously what they're saying to you, but it could be the message that you actually need. What do I mean by that? So let's say you have a leader. We used to do it on recruiting, we used to do cross-training. The staff in CIC who was in charge used to tell us, hey, if you want to be successful, you have to make sure you put in the work. But a lot of old recruiters that heard it so many times got comfortable, they didn't care about what he had to say. But a new guy like me coming in, I wanted to soak it all in. So all I did is follow exactly what he was saying. And fast forward, when I put in the work, I put in the time, I started to become successful. And those I thought that they had it all figured out, or they already knew what the staff in CIC was going to say, started to struggle, even though they were there longer than me. So if somebody's saying something to you so many times, and it feels like you heard it all, you already been there, you already know what they're going to say, it's a dangerous place to be at. Because you start to get comfortable and familiar with what they're saying to the point that you're not getting the message that they're saying. You can take one verse in the Bible, and that one verse, 10 different pastors will give you different messages out of that one verse. Why is it that? Because it takes a humble spirit to be teachable. If you're humble, one message, even from a kid, you can learn. So that's the foundation of success. You have to be like a sponge. You have to be able to soak in the information. But if you're not humble, if you're not mature enough, if you're not humble, you're not going to have a teachable spirit. You're not going to be able to pick up the information that the people are even telling you. If you go back to the videos that probably Shanti shared with you, I promise you can learn even few details about how to improve your business, things that she's been doing to become successful. So having a teachable spirit is a very important thing. But you have to be humble, right? That's the first thing. Now, she can be telling you all these things. It's not for her. It's to make you successful. Now, when it comes to your business, how successful do you want to be? How much do you want your business to grow? what are you willing to do for your business? Because all the classes she's giving you is not for her. Obviously, she already got it, right? She's teaching you what she's doing. She's not telling you to do something that she doesn't do herself. So she's telling you something that she already done and experienced. So are you going to be teachable? Or are you going to just let familiarity, because you know her so well, you guys talk all the time, you're friends, you're going to let that take away from the knowledge that she's trying to give you?
And let me just tell you this, I can't say the word familiar. I can't say the word familiarity. So, but the reason that we started talking about this morning was because that verse in the Bible says that you are honored everywhere except in your hometown. This could not be more true for me and my husband, right? This happens more than you could imagine. So there's a situation and I have to make a decision, and he tells me his opinion, and I'm like, oh, shut up, Yusuf, whatever, you don't know. Turns out he's right, and then I'm like, oh, because he's so familiar to me, I often don't take what he says as, what am I trying to say?
Value? Or...
Yeah, I often, and I don't mean to do it, it's just because he's so familiar to me that sometimes I don't value his opinion the way that maybe I would value it from somebody else on the outside, and it's just because he's familiar to me. But after 6 or 7 years of being married to the guy, I guess I'm realizing that he's actually right most of the time. And the most recent experience is when they told us that we would be staying at the Ritz in Cancun instead of the JW. I actually didn't want to stay there because it was separated from the team. I was on the phone, I was calling, trying to get us changed, trying to get our hotel changed, didn't I? Mm-hmm. For like 30, 40 straight minutes. I was calling Mexico, trying to ask them, can I please not stay at the Ritz? I want to be with my team. I want to be with the other girls. And I was going round and round in circles, and they wouldn't let us change. And he was sitting on the couch next to me saying, Shanti, you really want to give up the Ritz? And I was like, I know, but I want to be with the team. Like, my mind was so focused on one thing, and he was like, Shanti, it's the Ritz. And for the first time probably in 7 years that we've been married, I was like, you know what, Shanti, maybe you should just listen to the guy. And so I was like, okay, I hung up the phone and I let it be. You guys, turns out the Ritz was the place to be. And if I had have missed out on that experience, I would have been really upset. If I had have taken away that blessing that they had given us and gone and stayed over at Party Central, over at the other hotel.
Brutal over there.
People were passed out. There was alcohol everywhere. Like, then that's not where we wanted to be. Where God put us in that hotel, and that experience is something that we would probably never get to experience again. And it was absolutely perfect for us and our family, and we had the best time. But the point is, when somebody is so familiar, I don't know why I can't say the word.
Familiar.
When someone is so familiar to you, it can often be hard to take them seriously and to, really value what they're saying. And that's just a little thing that, happens between us all the time. And I'm sure that it's probably going to happen between myself and you guys too, or between you and your leader. So that's my little spiel into that as well.
So let's bring it home, all right? If you have somebody that you think you're familiar with, somebody like a friend, and they're trying to give you advice, don't reject it. Don't get defensive. Just humble yourself, because if you have a teachable spirit and you're humble, you will learn even from the smallest person in the house, the kid. But the moment you start rejecting and you start being defensive, you start, getting too familiar with somebody, it's going to be a problem for you, because you're going to stop learning. My granddad often told me this: the moment you start acting like you got it all figured out, you start getting dumb from that day.
Woo!
Because you're not taking all the small knowledge that everybody else has to offer to try to move forward, but instead all you're going to know is all you have in your mind, all your experience. Because this world is big. What you go through on a daily basis, somebody else is going through something different. But how do you really take that experience and grow as a person if you don't listen to what they're saying and add that to your toolbox to move forward? That's why we do cross-training in the Marine Corps. That's why we get together, we select a few people to get together to make decisions, to build plans, so we make sure we have the best plan. That's why the Marine Corps is successful at war or at home, because we take the ranks off, we sit down and we talk, we argue, and we'll make sure we got the best plan of action. But you cannot let somebody, or you cannot let yourself be too familiar to the point that you're not applying the things that people are telling you that can help you. Obviously, you don't have to take all the bad things people tell you, but you are intelligent enough to take everything people tell you, sort it out, and find out which really is beneficial. Now, don't let your ego, and don't get lazy about it, because that will also kill you. Because here's the thing. If you put in the work, seed, time, and harvest, there's no magic formula to life. It's seed, time, and harvest. You put the seed in the ground, you water it, it'll grow. But if you put apple in the ground, you're going to get some apples. Don't put apple in the ground and expect oranges. So the amount of work you put in right now, it's what you're going to reap later. Now, if you put in a little bit of work right now, okay, that's fine. You get a little bit of blessing at the end. You know, it's just the way it is. And that's been since Noah. The Lord promised that it's going to always be a seed, time, and harvest. Now, some of us, our seed might be harder because you have kids, you got other obligations. But guess what? When the blessing comes to you, it's going to be bigger. Now, if you don't want to go through that, then you're going to stay average like everybody else. But if you don't want to be average, you're going to have to work harder than the average person. Millionaires sleep less. Just in case you don't know, millionaires, they sleep less. They make more money than you, and they sleep less. But you want to sleep more, but you have no money. That's a problem. So you're going to have time when you die. You're going to have time to sleep. You're going to sleep.
What do they say? Like, what do they say? Millionaires, no millionaire wakes up after 5 a.m.
No.
Or something like that.
No. You only got 24 hours in one day. What you do with your 24 hours is going to give you the benefits and the results of that. I told my Marines all the time, I wake up at 4 to go to the gym. They're still rolling out of bed at 6 or 7 o'clock. I had 2 or 3 hours ahead of them already to add value to my life that they probably won't have. And in that 24 hours, whatever I do before they even wake up, that's value extra that they're not. Oh, Gunny, you're so big. Gunny, you're always like this. Gunny, I put it in the work.
Because he's up at 4 a.m. going to the gym.
You think I always want to wake up at 4? No, I sit on the side of the bed and sit there for 10 to 15 minutes till I can wake up properly before I go downstairs. But if you want something, you have to be willing to sacrifice, right? But along the way, you're going to have people that will teach you things that you can learn. And that's going to add to you. I'm always learning. I work out all the time, but I'm always learning from people I read online. So you have to have a teachable spirit if you want to have better results. Or you're going to be stuck with all you know. And obviously, that formula doesn't work because you will be successful by now.
And the same goes for me too, you guys. I mean, I've only been doing this business for 2 years, and I do not know everything. How much am I still learning?
Oh, yes.
And I'm on calls and Zoom calls and coaching calls, and I'm learning from the people who have gone before me. Because if the minute that I stop and say, you know what, I know how to do everything, and I'm just going to teach you everything I know, I'm doing you guys a disservice too, because I don't know everything.
No.
There's always a better way to do it. And
she never misses any call. I'm telling you. She be sitting there, I got to call at 8 o'clock. Okay, whatever. Can you take care of the kids? Hey, go to bed. Hey, can you take them upstairs? There's always something going on because she's always trying to suck it in from others. Because clearly, if she had it all figured out, she'd be an STD right now, right? But she's not an STD, right? So there's room for improvement, right? So we all learn, we all grow. There's always something new you can learn, no matter what level you're on. But to stay stagnant and, trying to convince somebody that you don't have the time, when in reality you do have the time, but you're just not humble, don't have the teachable spirit, that is a dangerous place to be at. So I wanted to share that with you. Be humble, be hungry, stay hungry.
Stay hungry.
Stay hungry.
Hungry.
Be humble. And good things happen to people that are hungry and humble. Because if you're hungry, you're going to have the drive. And if you're humble, you're going to learn a lot. So you can actually cut some corners instead of going the whole wrong way. So there you have it.
All right,
Happy
guys.
Tuesday, Motivational Monday.
Happy Tuesday. Motivational Monday on a Tuesday, you guys, because Gunny got ready for work today. Full camis. Thought he had to go to work. But now we get to go home and drink coffee. All right, guys. I hope you have a great day. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.